So what is going on, guys? I am Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another zombies video on the channel. We are back with another Q&A where we take your questions from the comment section below to do with your zombie storyline, Easter eggs, and answer them. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, drop a like rating if you want to. Make sure you are subscribed, but without further ado, let's get into it. Here we go. So the first question of the day from J-Man Wolf, who says, "Hey BOA, do you think that we'll be able to play as the Primus and Ultimus crew as an 8-player team like we did in town?" So I know exactly what you're asking, and I thought to myself, how exactly is this gonna work? Because we saw in the classified ending, the Primus characters of Richtofen, Takeo, Nikolai and Dempsey met up with their Ultimus versions in the bunker. They came face to face with one another, and then when asked where they are going, Primus Nikolai told them to the Great War. We know they are going to defeat Dr. Monty, which means we now have 8 characters, 4 from the Primus and 4 from the Ultimus. And that then brings me back to your question, well, how exactly is this gonna work? We've only ever played as 4 characters before in zombies. If there are now 8 of us, who are we gonna end up playing as? The Ultimus, the Primus, maybe some of the Primus and some of the Ultimus? We don't know. Honestly, I can't see us really playing as 8 characters. First, unless it's a gigantic map. I don't really even think transit would be big enough, but 8 players is a lot. The map would have to be pretty big in order for everyone to have their own separate training area. I could just imagine a massive queue for the mystery box. The zombie spawns would just be everywhere with everyone in different areas. I don't really think it would work. And again, if we've got 8 players, it'd be much easier. You could probably guarantee you'd be able to be revived, at least by one of those other 7 players. So honestly, I can't see us having an 8-player team like we did on Grief for BO2, whether that was Town or Mob of the Dead. Although it wasn't quite the same because they were 4 teams against each other, not working together. So who exactly are we going to be playing as? Well, as we've seen in the new Revelations loading screen, we have Dr. Monty's perfect world, there is his house, but there are 4 characters walking up to it through the field, and this is Primus Nikolai, Takeo and Dempsey with Ultimus Richtofen. I think this could be telling us the characters we are going to be playing as in DLC 4 or the Great War. Why exactly Ultimus Richtofen is going to replace Primus Richtofen, I don't know, but I would really love to see those characters working together to see how an evil version of Richtofen gets along with a good version of Nikolai, Takeo and Dempsey. I'd love to see what conversations they have together and how exactly that's going to work. But yeah, I think those are going to be the characters, the 4 characters that we'll be playing as. As for what the others are going to do, I'm not really too sure. And then also, I know this is a little bit off subject, but originally this loading screen was for Die Rise. Treyarch have changed the images for this new Revelations loading screen we got in the comics. But it was originally for Die Rise, which is weird. Why would they reuse that specifically? And then on the right, we can see we have a cutout of who I believe is Leroy. This is because the map after this was buried. Yes, you could say it was Mob of the Dead, but for the transit crew, their next map was buried, which had Leroy. So we can see the comic strip is cut out on the right to match his face. Could that be hinting that Leroy is going to be in the Great War? I mean, we know he is from that time. It would make sense. And then of course, this loading screen also shows Monty's house. So are we going to there to kill him? Maybe the characters have come here to take the children. Why exactly are they at Monty's house again? Because we know the Great War isn't here. It is at a different location, but clearly we can see at some point they do come to his house, either to kill him or it must be something to do with the children, which, as we know at this point, the only 2 children in the house are Samantha and Eddie. Possibly they've come to save them. It's just really interesting. Honestly, I'm so excited for what the next couple of maps from the ether are gonna be. The next question from Insanus Rap says, will it be possible to bring back Scarlett's father in the near future? So I kind of answered this in my Ancient Evil breakdown, or I gave my guess, but I think we will be able to. Why? Well, we know in the ending, the Oracle, who turned out to be Medusa, turned Alistair, Scarlett's father, into stone. And one of the things that Medusa said to Scarlett was, if I die, they will return. I think that they could be referencing the people she's turned into stone. If Medusa is killed, those people who were a victim of hers could return, could come back. So since at this point we know Alistair has turned into stone, or actually in the ending we saw him turn to dust, if we kill Medusa, possibly that might be a way to get him back. But also we've seen that Scarlett is unconscious or possibly dead, so it's going to be interesting to see what exactly goes on for the Chaos story in Season 2. But I'm like 50-50. I think there's a chance we could get him back. The next question of today from Veteran of War says, "Hey BOA, why did Samantha not want the Pentagon thief to join the battle against the crew in Classified? If she wanted to kill them, wouldn't she want him to join? Please answer, love your vids." So yes, we know that the Pentagon thief is Yuri from Ascension. Whilst at the Soviet Cosmodrome, Yuri found a book, which was Richthofen's diary. He read it, and when he did, he became under Samantha's control. And so, obeying Samantha's wishes, we know that Yuri tricked Gersh into activating a Gersh device, in which a rift was then opened in Ascension, which sucked in and trapped Gersh, and also absorbed Yuri, in which he was then transported to the Pentagon. And as we know, in the original 5, once Yuri was at the Pentagon, due to the zombie outbreak at Ascension, the same happened at 5, and so Samantha told Yuri to stop JFK, Nixon, McNamara and Fidel Castro from surviving. So Yuri the Pentagon thief was sent to 5 to do that. That was what happened originally in 5, however in Classified we see things are a little bit different. Yes, once again we can see at Ascension Yuri opens the Gersh device he has sucked in and sent to the Pentagon. However, when he gets there he unleashes a zombie outbreak, but this time instead of him staying to thwart the character's survival, Samantha stops him and sends him away. She opens up another rift and Yuri goes somewhere else, which is why we don't see him in Classified. And it's strange, where exactly did Samantha send the Pentagon thief, and also why? Why wouldn't she want him to help kill Primus? We know that Classified takes place before 5, because if you actually do a little Easter egg in the map and you knock on one of the doors, you can hear Robert McNamara talking about the meeting he's going to have with Fidel Castro in a few days. That was the one which led to the zombie outbreak in 5, so Classified takes place a couple of days before 5. However, what we don't know is if it's part of the original timeline or a completely new one, if it's in a different universe. Personally, like the Zombies Chronicles maps, I believe this is in a totally different universe, because 1, surely if a zombie outbreak happened a couple of days before 5 took place, then 5 would never have happened, and 2, in the original 5 there wasn't any sign that Ultimus were locked in the bunker. I mean, they could have been, but I think maybe Treyarch could have put an Easter egg in there to indicate that, although the map 5 came before Moon. I guess you could kind of dismiss that one, but there are a few things to me that say this isn't in the same universe, in the same dimension as the original 5. And also, as we know, it takes place after Blood of the Dead. Once we've broken the cycle, we are down a totally different path now. Like 5, which was part of the cycle, Classified takes place after we break the cycle, so it's a brand new path. But that still doesn't really answer the question, why does Samantha send the Pentagon thief away? She brings him here to unleash the zombies, but then she stops him from doing anything himself and sends him away. Why? She's clearly trying to kill Primus in Classified. Why wouldn't she want the Pentagon thief to help? It's possible that maybe she's saving him for 5. If 5 is supposed to still happen a couple of days after, possibly Samantha's saving him for then, in case the Primus crew do end up killing him. That may mess things up for her, so she sends him away to save him for that event. There could be a totally different reason as to why she doesn't want him here. I really don't know. And also, where does she send him to? Because Yuri is under Samantha's control, so where could he have gone? He wouldn't have gone back to Ascension. I don't know. It's interesting, actually. And also, as I brought up earlier, when you do knock on the door of Robert McNamara's and try to disturb him, Samantha tells us to leave him alone. She tells Richtofen or whoever's knocking on the door to stop bothering him. Why would Samantha tell us to do that if in a couple of days from now she's gonna kill him anyway? Why wouldn't she do it at this point? Again, it's all strange. It seems like she still wants 5 to happen, but everything's got to go as it originally would. It's kind of like she's trying not to change the timeline as Primus are doing. Camille Swisstack says, "Hey BOA, why in Revelations do we have Al's hat? Love your videos." I assume that says videos, but this is the age-old question, the biggest mystery in Zombies. Why is there a random hat of Al's in the Mob of the Dead section on Revelations? Yeah, I've tried to answer this many times. There is literally no clues. It's just it's random. We know in Revelations there are tons of hats or helmets that we can wear. They give us more abilities, whether it's more health, speed, faster reload, stuff like that, but Al's hat does absolutely nothing as far as we know. We've looked in the coding, there's nothing there. We can simply find it in one of the cells, put it on, and that's it. It does nothing. It gives us Nothing. The only thing I can say is it's just a cosmetic thing. It's just an item for us to wear. A little Easter egg, I guess, although not useful. Yeah, it's weird. Why is Owl's hat there? So anyway guys, that is all I have for you for today's video. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, you know what to do. Drop a like rating, only if you want to, of course. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest zombies videos on the channel. But until next time, goodbye.